Hi, kindergarten. This week we're going to read one of our decodable stories together, and the title is called The Quiz. The author of our story is Kathy Collins. That means she wrote the story. And the story is also illustrated by Eric Mendez, which means he drew the pictures. Before we take our picture walk together, we want to come together to learn more about these sounds and letters and practice some of our high frequency words. Remember, the letter Y says yeah, yeah. And these two words are yes and yak. Letter Q says qua, qua. And almost always letter Q is followed by the letter U. So if we break apart this word, we could sound it out. Qua is quiz and qua it quit. A quiz, boys and girls, is similar to a test. It's where you're asked questions and you want to give answers. And to quit means to stop something or to give up. Here's some of our high frequency words. Let's start from bottom to top, and we see a number word. Let's practice. For, the, where, said, is, come, a. And then we're going to go from top to bottom again and practice. A, come, is, said, where, the, for. Remember, this is the number word. And so now we're going to take a picture walk, and it's really important to pay close attention to the pictures because from looking at the pictures, you can point out things such as who do you think the characters are. You can also make predictions such as what happened in the beginning, middle, and end. You can draw conclusions by using your prior knowledge, and you can also describe the setting or where the story takes place. So if we look at the front cover together, we could see a picture of a little boy holding a pencil and a paper at his table, and it looks like he's concentrating really hard. His tongue is sticking out. Usually what that means, boys and girls, is that when someone's tongue is sticking out, it means they're concentrating really hard. And we can look and see he's practicing some math. This says 6 plus 4 equals 10. And the sum of 6 plus 4 does, in fact, equal 10. So he has the right answer. We can also see that there's the same little boy and a woman, and it looks like they're coming through a door. The little boy has some pages in his hand, and the woman looks like she's either hanging up her keys or they could still be going somewhere. We'll have to read to see. But she's holding a briefcase, and it looks like the little boy and the mom are both happy. Okay, so if we look further, we can see that the setting on this page looks to be like they are in their kitchen. This is a refrigerator and some cabinets. Looks to be that the woman and the boy are still happy. And the boy's maybe handing her the pictures, and the mom, which I think is the mom, I'm saying the mom, the woman is maybe taking the papers from him. Now look at this next picture. The woman and the boy are at a table, and it looks to be like they are working. The little boy has a pencil and some paper, and the woman is pointing to an animal. We'll have to see what type of animal that is. And if we look at this next page, we can in fact see that this is a yak. Yak. And the boy's holding this paper. He could be studying it, learning how to spell the word, or just looking at the picture to learn more information about a yak. And here's that same picture that's on the front cover. The little boy is concentrating really hard, and with his pencil and paper, he's practicing his math facts. So we can conclude just by looking at these two pictures that this little boy is a really hard worker, right? He likes to study and practice and learn new information. So on the next page, we can see this woman is looking at her wristwatch, and the little boy looks like he might be waving goodbye, and he's getting on, what do you guys think? What type of transportation? His bus. We can see that because it's big and yellow with those big black tires. Where do you take a bus, boys and girls? This type of a bus. You take it most of the time to school. Now, you could also take a bus on a field trip, but let's see. What can you predict? What can you not even predict, but what can you conclude? That the little boy took his bus to school. Very good. And we know that this is his school because we see lots of desks and friends around him, and they're all seeming to be learning, and they have a pencil in their hand. And look, that little boy is still practicing with that same picture that he was studying at home. Do you remember what type of animal this was? This was a yak. Very good. All right, so now we're going to go back and try to read this story now that we've taken our picture walk. Remember, the letters Q, U come together to make this one sound, qu, qu. We're also going to remember that the letter Y makes this sound, y, y. The quiz. Let's try to stand out this name. And remember, it's the beginning of a sentence, but it's also a special name of a boy. And I bet it's this character. Let's sound it out. J-I-M, J-im, Jim. Jim will get a quiz. Quiz. Let's read it again. Jim will get a quiz. Jim and Mom come in. Jim and Mom sit. So where do you guys think they're coming in? Do you think they're coming in to a school? Do you think they're coming in to a grocery store? If we see that Mom is hanging up keys and she's holding her briefcase and the little boy's holding papers, we can conclude that they're most likely, right, by using our prior knowledge, that this is their home. They're coming inside their home, okay? Can Mom help Jim? This is an asking sentence. Can Mom help Jim? Yes, Mom can help him. Jim sat. Mom sat. And we can see that the setting of this is in their kitchen, and he's asking Mom, well, maybe he needs some help with learning something new. So here they are at the table. And these boys and girls are called quotation marks. And what this means that a character is speaking to another person in the story. This is what's called dialogue. And we know that it's an asking sentence because we see the question mark at the end. So let's try to read it. Jim, is a yak an ox? So Mom is asking Jim that question. Let's read it again. Jim, is a yak an ox? Jim sat. Jim said, a yak is not an ox. So he's responding back to his mom, and there's his dialogue. There's those quotation marks, and we know that this is a telling sentence because we see a period at the end. Here's that word yak. We know that Jim is holding it. Let's see those quotation marks again. Here's our asking sentence. Let's read it. Jim, where is the big yak? So Mom is asking that to Jim. Jim, where is the big yak? Jim sat. Jim said, the big yak is on top. And he is on top of a hill. And that is Jim talking back, and he's answering the question. That means that we have to use quotation marks. When we see those quotation marks, we know that there's dialogue or that the characters are speaking to one another. Jim, add 6 plus 4. This, boys and girls, is a period at the end. This is actually not a telling sentence. This is something different that which you'll learn a little bit more about later. In school, this is called a command sentence, which means that Mom is commanding or ordering him to do something. So Mom is saying, Jim, add 6 plus 4. And there goes Jim adding the numbers with his pencil. Jim sat. 6 plus 4 is 10. Good job reading those number words. 6, 4, and 10. And he does have the right answer. Good job, Jim. Jim will quit. That means he's going to stop. Jim will quit. Jim will run fast. Jim will get on the bus. Oh, maybe he was running late. Maybe that's why Mom is looking at her watch, right? And he has to run because he needs to hurry up and catch his bus before he misses it. Jim got the quiz. Quiz. Can Jim pass? It's a question mark. That means, if that word pass means, can he do well? Do you guys think he'll do well? We can make the conclusion just by looking at the pictures in the story and reading so far. I think he's going to do well because he studied really hard. And who helped Jim study hard? His mom. So let's read that last sentence. Yes, Jim did. He did do well, boys and girls. He worked hard. He practiced his math facts. He practiced his sounding out his letters and sounds just like you did each week. Very good, guys. You can ask certain questions such as who are the characters in this story? Where is the setting? And what happened in the beginning, middle, and end. So keep reading, boys and girls, for 20 to 30 minutes and keep sounding out new words. And remember, when you come to a word you don't know, remember the rule this week that QU makes this one sound qua, qua, and Y makes the sound ya, ya. Awesome job, boys and girls.